Let's face it, escaping the summer heat is not always easy. Running the air conditioner all day can add up to a hefty electricity bill, and not everyone is lucky enough to live by the sea. Stephen Bez was an architect with bright ideas and experimental work. He built a mansion in Germany and huge park sculptures in New Orleans. But his best work was a project he started as an individual. One summer, while sitting in his New Orleans home, he thought he should have a pool in his backyard. There wasn't enough space in the yard of his shotgun-style house for such a luxury, or was there? Stephen, who knows no boundaries in his profession, wasn't going to let that stop him. Utilizing his architectural skills, he created a plan for a spectacular swimming pool. The project began with his daughter. Stephen and his team dug a hole 7 meters long and 3 meters wide. Then he poured limestone and pebbles into the ground. Next came the middle part of the project. Stephen ordered a huge garbage container to serve as a pool. He chose the container because it was the ideal size and because it was already sturdy and would not require any extra work for the skeleton. Stephen and his team carefully poured tar around the container and sealed any cracks. As the inside of the container would not be hygienic enough, Stephen lined it with high-density foam. For extra safety, he laid a pool liner on the floor. Of course, the old container didn't look very elegant, so Stephen spruced up the design a bit, using treated oak boards to line the container. Stephen had in mind to make it more than just a liner. As you can see in the picture here, one of the workers built an area around the pool. This rectangular area near the wall was to be used as a shower. But there was still a lot of work to be done. Anything that was not aesthetically pleasing to the eye was placed out of sight. Stephen added a steel connection to the container and hid it behind the boards. He also spray painted the lower body black. Stephen and his team had almost completed the framing around the container pool. You know how Stephen wanted to hide ugly things. He also had a special plan for the filtration system. All the pumps, hoses, and equipment were placed in a secret compartment at one end of the pool. Although the system used a saltwater environment, the pool was also connected to the house plumbing, so there would always be fresh water available. The pieces of wood you see in the picture cover the filters and hoses. You'd never know there was anything there unless you specifically looked for it. Stephen was satisfied with a container pool surrounded by clean wood. His architectural instincts made him pay extra attention to the wooden frame. As you can see in the picture, he made the frame smoother by hammering nails to match the floor. For the final stage of the design, Stephen gave the boards a reddish color inspired by Japanese baths. The bench and shower turned out beautifully. After spending a few $1,000s, Stephen now had a pool that stunned everyone who saw it. Thanks to the wall between him and his neighbors, his family was able to maintain privacy. His son learned to swim in the container pool, and his wife, a former professional swimmer, uses it often. She can get from one end to the other in 3 fathoms. Stephen has to swim 5 strokes to make it. And if Stephen wants to move, will he have to dismantle the container pool? Would he give the pool he worked so hard on to the new owners of the house? No, he wouldn't. The clever architect has thought of everything. First of all, the wooden frame is easily removable. Once the frame is removed, Stephen can simply use the hidden steel connection to attach the container to a truck and transport it with ease. After all, he says, he wanted a modern structure in his garden. I like the concept of a hidden container. I wanted people to say, "Is that fiberglass? How did you do that?" And then I wanted to surprise them. Ironically, across the street from Stephen's house is a rusting garbage container covered in graffiti. Every time he walks out the door, he remembers what the pool in his backyard went through. Who would have thought you could make a pool out of something so unexpected?